Councils braced for funding cuts. Councils in England are to learn later how much money they will have next year to spend on local services such as waste collection and road maintenance. Ministers will present the funding grants for 2015 to 16, which account for most of councils' budgets. Last year the government said councils would face an average cut in their spending power of 1.8% in 2015 to 16. The Local Government Association has warned services would buckle under the strain of more cuts. But ministers say public satisfaction with local services has increased since 2010 while council tax has fallen. Most local authority funding comes from central government, with about a quarter raised through council tax. The provisional settlement, which will need the approval of Parliament, will be presented to MPs by Local Government Minister Chris Hopkins. Back in 1963, the earliest year for which I have found figures, local councils employed about 2 million people, 200,000 more than Whitehall. 10 years later, and the local authority workforce was close to 3 million and almost 900,000 greater than central government. Today, though, the situation has almost completely reversed, with 500,000 more people on the national payroll than the local one. Indeed, the number employed by local authorities has fallen more than 500,000 since the last election. In many towns and cities, the council was once the biggest employer by far. Nowadays, that's much less likely to be true and may be changing the relationship between local people and the local authority. Councils have become more of a service commissioner than the heartbeat of the local economy. The National Audit Office (NAO) estimates that by 2016, government funding for local government will have dropped in real terms by 37% since 2010. Councils that were heavily reliant on government grants have faced steeper cuts, and Labour has said poorer areas have been hit hardest as a result. But ministers say the most deprived councils still have more to spend per household than wealthier areas. Once again, authorities will be offered cash to freeze council tax bills. Appearing before MPs ahead of the settlement being published, Communities Secretary Eric Pickles said local authorities had dealt with the squeeze exceptionally well.